Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this video. This has been crazy. I'm outside as I do most of my videos in the backyard, and for the first time ever, a deer literally just ran through during one of my videos. I was about 2, maybe 3 minutes into it, and I just heard something and looked to my right, and the deer was like running up by the tree, and I see, and it went into the neighbor's yard. Now, deer aren't, they're very common around here. I see deer usually, in the evenings, especially during this time of the year, but I've never seen one this up close and personal as I'm doing a video outside over the hundreds of videos I've done out here. And this is the first one that a deer has um, tried to interfere in. So I almost had a run in from a deer in the wrestling terminology, but we're back to the script. I restarted. I was really in a good flow, but yeah, we're going to get going and make this pretty quick. So today we're going to be taking a look at some old school LJN figures. Now, of course, LJNs are really back in the wrestling collecting sphere. We're back in, as a popular thing now since WWE has re-released the line basically, or introducing the line for a new generation, as you watched in my previous video. And it's just really cool, as I mentioned, just to go into your, a Target. I don't know if these are at Walmart, but just to go into your Target and see that old school LJN display and see a lot of the figures, basically re-releases of, your figures that we grew up with, your Ultimate Warriors, Jesse the Body Venturas, King Kong Bundys, and just to see them, available for this generation, in addition to new superstars, your more current superstars like modern names, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, Logan Paul. So again, I really enjoy this LJN line. It's such a wave of nostalgia. And then I was going through my collection and have a few myself. As I showed you the King Kong, I think I showed you one of them, the George Animal Steel, last week in my video. So again, just going to take you through these figures. It's going to be real brief. And again, also the LJN line is just so, I think, so influential. I mentioned it, touched on it a little bit last week, but in addition to, there was an AEW line that came out a few years ago, a very brief line that they had, basically the LJN style figures, large plastic, very cartoon-esque features, and no articulation. And the LJN line also influenced, I was just thinking back to this, they definitely, I think, had a big influence on the WCW San Francisco Toymakers line from the mid-90s. Though again, those figures were, plastic, no articulation, very much in the spirit of the LJNs. And even with the major figures, I think that's the name of the company, but it's the toy brand that Matt Cardona and I forget his partner's name, but that Matt Cardona, in the WWE, the figure line that he runs with his tag team partner, who I cannot remember his name at the moment. I think it's something Myers, but they have a line that's called Big Rubber Guys, which again is a direct inspiration from the LJN figures. So we're just going to take a look at these old school LJNs and just go from there. So first off, we have Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And then, of course, you notice a lot of scuff marks. Some of these are in better condition than others, but keep in mind these figures are, over 30 years old, so they have some wear and tear. We have, maybe I should do these before. We have Tito Santana. And, of course, George the Animal Steel. You remember him from last week with the green tongue. George the Animal Steel. Next we have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Looking very Bruce Lee-ish. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And we have the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, from his days in the British Bulldogs tag team, along with his tag team partner, the legendary Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington. And then we have the biggest figure in this set, King Kong Bundy. And I think I'm going to get the new Bundy one, because again, it'll just be a little cool comparison. But the Bundy figure, this exact replica, is out now, re-released. So we got King Kong Bundy, menacing scowl of a classic 80s heel. And last but not least, The wrestler I probably know the least about, Corporal Kirchner. I believe that's who he is, Corporal Kirchner. And yeah, so that is it. This is these are the classic LJNs that I own. And again, just really cool just to see these figures, you know, back in the public eye again. And I definitely am going to probably get the King Kong Bundy and maybe a couple of others next time I'm in Greensboro. So again, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thankfully, I survived this video, because when I saw that deer running towards me, it was pretty intense. And deer, they're peaceful animals, but I have not been that close to one in a long time, if not ever. So when I saw it running this way, I thought, I just got out of the way. I'm making room for it, do whatever you need to do, but let me get out of the way. So thankfully, this video went off great. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and just keep the conversation going. But hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you again in a little while. Peace.